If I asked you to name the world's most popular digital nomad destinations, you'd probably say Bali, or maybe Chiang Mai, maybe Lisbon, maybe Medellin, maybe Barcelona, maybe Mexico City, but almost nobody says Tbilisi. And that's interesting, because over the last few years, something unusual has been happening, especially Tbilisi. Without a huge marketing campaign, without some giant government tourism initiative, without influencers constantly posting about it, thousands of remote workers have quietly been arriving here. You've got software developers, agency owners, Amazon sellers, crypto traders, YouTubers, consultants, freelancers, people who earn money from a laptop, basically. And many of them arrive with the exact same plan. I'll stay for a month. Then a month becomes 3. 3 becomes 6. 6 becomes a year. Then suddenly they're explaining it to their friends back home why they still haven't left or why they never said bye. Look, I've lived in Tbilisi since 2018. I've watched this happen again and again. I've seen people arrive with 2 suitcases and no plan. I've seen people build businesses here. I've seen people meet partners here. I've seen people buy apartments here. I've seen people swear they'll never leave. But I've also seen others pack up and leave after 2 months. So today I want to answer a question that I think a lot of people are asking. What is it actually like living in Tbilisi as a digital nomad? Not as a tourist, not as someone staying for a long weekend, not through the lens of Instagram. What's it like waking up here every day and building a life? What's the first shock people have when they arrive? The first thing that surprises people is that Tbilisi doesn't fit neatly into a box. You can't really compare it directly to anywhere. It's not Western Europe. It's not Eastern Europe. It's not the Middle East. And it's not Asia. It's a strange blend of all of them. And that's exactly what makes it interesting. You'll walk down one street and see architecture that feels like Vienna. Then you'll walk another street that feels Soviet. Then you'll pass modern skyscrapers. Then you'll find yourself in a neighborhood that feels almost Mediterranean. The city constantly changes character. It's like 5 different cities sharing the same space. And for people who are too tired of cookie cutter cities, that's incredibly refreshing. One of my friends came here from Germany. After 2 weeks, he said something that stuck with me. He said, Tbilisi feels alive. Not polished, not perfect, but alive. And I think that's a good description, because perfection often feels sterile. Tbilisi still feels real. But why digital nomads don't actually move for cheap rent? Because a lot of people think they're here for cheap rent. Everyone says digital nomads move because things are cheaper. And yes, cost matters, but I don't think that's the real reason. The real reason is freedom. Imagine 2 people, both earn $5,000 per month. One lives in an expensive Western city. The other one lives somewhere with lower costs. The first person spends most of their income just maintaining their life, right? Rent, bills, insurance, transport, taxes, especially taxes, everything. The second person suddenly has options. They can save, they can invest, travel, experiment with business, take risks. And that's what many people are actually chasing. Not cheap rent, but optionality. The ability to make decisions without feeling financially cornered. Now that's a very different thing from cheap rent. And it's one of the biggest attractions of Tbilisi. So what does life look like at 2K, 5K, 10K, and 20K per month? Let's talk practical numbers. Because everyone asks, how much do you actually need? Let's start with $2,000. Can you survive? Absolutely. You'll have an apartment, you'll eat well, you'll use taxis. God, taxis are cheap here. You'll enjoy life. Will you feel rich? No. But you'll be comfortable. At $5,000 per month, something interesting happens. You stop thinking about most daily expenses. You start optimizing for convenience instead of price. You choose restaurants based on what you feel like eating. You choose apartments based on what you actually want. You start buying time. And buying time, by the way, is one of the greatest luxuries in life. What about 10,000? At 10,000 per month, the city becomes incredibly attractive because now you're living extremely well. The same income that might feel ordinary elsewhere suddenly gives you a lifestyle that feels premium. And if you're earning $20,000 per month or more, you're playing a completely different game now. Now, you're looking at investments, startups, business opportunities, property, second residences, partnerships, and that's where many entrepreneurs start, thinking long term. What about the real daily routine of a digital nomad in Tbilisi? Let's imagine your average Tuesday. You wake up, open the curtains, grab a coffee, maybe go for a walk, maybe hit the gym. All right, maybe we start work immediately. But anyway, you spend a few hours on client calls, content creation, coding, marketing, sales, whatever your business happens to be, right? Then lunchtime arrives, and this is where life starts feeling different because you're not rushing through a sandwich at your desk. Life feels slower here. People sit longer here. Conversations last longer. Lunch actually becomes lunch, not a pit stop. And while that sounds like a small thing over months and years, it changes how life feels. One thing I notice every time I travel is how rushed some cities feel. Everyone's sprinting. Everyone's stressed. Everyone's trying to squeeze another task into the day. Tbilisi generally feels calmer. Not lazy, but just calmer. And many entrepreneurs underestimate how valuable that is. Now, what about the social life? Friendship, dating. One of the biggest fears people have before moving, right? Before moving abroad, they think of loneliness. And honestly, it's a valid concern. Moving countries resets your social life. Nobody knows you. Nobody cares about your past. Nobody knows your achievements. You start from zero. Now that can be terrifying, but it can also be incredibly liberating because you get to reinvent yourself. And Tbilisi is full of people doing exactly that. You'll meet startup founders, crypto traders, designers, architects, developers, remote workers, content creators, salespeople, investors. Many arrived alone. Many are looking for community. And the opportunities exist, but you need to participate. All right, the city rewards initiatives. And what about the things people love and hate about Tbilisi? Let's be honest. Some people hate it here. Some people absolutely love it. And it's usually for the same reasons. Some people see the city and see character. Others see chaos. Some people see opportunity, while others see inconvenience. Some people see authenticity, but others see imperfection. The truth is that every city is a collection of trade-offs, right? There's no perfect city. There are only trade-offs that fit your personality. And that's what makes Tbilisi so interesting. For the right person, it's incredible, but for the wrong person, it's frustrating. And to wrap it up, what's my conclusion here? So is Tbilisi Europe's next digital nomad capital? Maybe that's actually the wrong question. Maybe the better question is Tbilisi right for you? Because cities aren't investments, they're relationships. Some people visit for a week and fall in love. Others stay a year and never connect. The only way to know is to experience it yourself. So, come for a month, work here, live here, take the tourist hat off, and see what happens. You might discover it's not for you, or you might discover why so many people who plan to stay for a few weeks are still here years later. And if that happens, don't say I didn't warn you. It's Sana Sanani. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.